Hello world and welcome to Baking with Agility. Today we're going to be making dark chocolate cupcakes with peanut butter and mascarpone Italian Meringue Buttercream and possibly a chocolate ganache, but I'm still unsure on that just to see how it tastes with peanut butter and chocolate. I'm deciding whether to add more or not. So far I'm in the process already because I don't want the video to be super long. So in here you have 1 teaspoon baking soda and 2 cups flour. These are 2 eggs that I'm about to crack into this bowl, which has sour cream. It has water, it has sugar, and it has vanilla. And we're going to use that to make the cupcakes. So just to make sure, because I want to make sure you guys can do this, I want to make sure you can crack this egg. So what you want to do is you want to hit it kind of hard on the edge of the bowl like this, and then like this. And then basically you'll have like no eggshell if you can catch it, and it's like really helpful to do that, so you can do that. What I like to do sometimes instead, just to make sure that you don't get any shell in, is what you can do is, hang on a sec, gotta do something. You can crack your egg into a bowl, and that's easier for me sometimes when I'm like just not focused. Yeah, that's also really smart because I kind of got a little bit of, no, maybe I didn't. No, I think I got it. But when I cracked it and I showed you the proper way to do it, it happened to have the other egg, part of the eggshell go flying, and so that was kind of hilarious. So, anyway, now we're going to find our paddle attachment, if I can find it. Hang on a sec. Okay, yeah. Here's the paddle attachment, and we're going to beat eggs, sugar, and water, and sour cream and vanilla in here for a while until it gets like really smooth. Then we're going to add chocolate and butter that I melted in the microwave. You need about 4 ounces of unsweetened chocolate or dark chocolate, and a fourth of a cup butter that is cubed, so then it's easier to melt. So even though I didn't have just regular unsweetened chocolate that wasn't really expensive, I just used chocolate chips. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. The cupcake might be really lumpy. Also, I've never made cupcakes before, so right now we're just going to beat this, and then we're going to add our chocolate, and then we're going to add our flour and our we're going to beat this, then we're going to add the flour and the baking soda, then the chocolate chips and the butter. So let's go. Now we're going to stop, because if you keep a mixer on and put flour in, this happened when I first made chocolate chip cookies, the flour just goes poof and like gets everything all bad. So what you want to do is if your mixer is able to like go lower like this, there's like a little winding thing on the edge. It looks like this, brings the bowl up and down. And then you can like attach it or detach it or whatever you need to do. So yeah, that's usually easier. So then you have more leverage to put your dry mixture in. So what you want to do is you just want to get it in there and try not to like get flour everywhere. Okay. That's done. Then, now that there's flour in here, you want to beat it really slowly, so you want to set it to stir, because if you set it too high, then it'll also go poof. So, you just want to set it to stir until it starts to break up a little bit, your dough, and then you can set it up a little bit higher, and then a little bit more, and now you're actually like really stirring it. You're on setting 4 right now. It's usually the same for most mixers because most people have KitchenAid, so yeah, we're making the batter, and now it looks a lot smoother. So we're going to stop, then we're going to dismount. We're going to add our chocolate and our butter, which hopefully the chocolate chips will be beaten by the paddle attachment enough to where the point they are practically melted, because this is not completely working yet. So we have our chocolate in there, and then we're going to bring this up. I forgot to mention that sour cream, the reason people do this for baking is sour cream adds a lot of moisture. So if you don't have like canola oil, or it just requires a lot more attention if you have other ingredients. But if you have sour cream, that's like the only moisture you really need besides the eggs. So we're going to try and beat this chocolate in, but it doesn't seem like there's a lot, so I'm not sure what the color's going to look like. Right now it looks really, really pale, but still kind of chocolatey, so we're going to beat that until it breaks down the chocolate chips. Yeah, and then we're going to fill the muffin cups with paper, and then add our batter. So, yeah. So I'm going to go find those paper things. I have no idea where they are, so I'm going to just guess, look around the kitchen while that's beating, and then I'll be right back. Scoop it out with something, so I'm going to just use a half cup measure because I don't know what to use, and fill that, and then dump it into the little cupcake dish, which probably won't work, but I'm just going to try. Oh, it worked. Wow, surprise. Yay me. Now, I've never made cupcakes before, so I think I already told you that a lot, but most of the stuff that I'm going to be making on this channel I've never made before, and like, you know how I said that this was dark chocolate cupcakes? Like, I lied. I know. So, here's some life advice. Don't lie to people when you know that it's wrong, even though it could like save your butt or make it sound better, or like to gain more friends. You want to always be true to yourself and just, yeah, stuff like that. So there's some life advice. Wow, I'm really surprised. These don't even look like chocolate cupcakes. I made the conversion of chocolate chips to ounces, and I don't even know if I put it in enough, so let's hope that these actually taste like chocolate. Okay. Once your bowl is completely dry, what you want to do is you want to start making your buttercream. So this recipe makes about 6 cups, which should be able to frost all of these cupcakes and probably more. So the rest, what I'm going to do with it is probably just eat it because it's really good, but not a lot of it, because if you eat too much buttercream, you'll be really fat, because it basically is fat. So what you want to do is you need 1 1/4 cups of sugar, and you need, which would be 1 cup, and then you measure 1/4 cup. So I'm going to do that. You'll also need this. for Italian meringue buttercream, it's different for some. Like American, you don't need this, but this is like a whisk attachment. It'll give you the most volume from the egg whites, which you'll also need in this recipe for. So for the egg whites, you want to get those out. You need 6, which means you have to separate it from the yolk. And with the yolk, so my egg whites are in the bowl. They're waiting. You also need a candy thermometer, and you need cream of tartar. This is what cream of tartar looks like. It's like that, kind of, I guess. Basically, you can find it in the spice aisle. If you don't have it in your house, you find it in like this where all the spices are in the grocery store. So you'll need 3/4 of a teaspoon of this, and it kind of just balances and makes everything get set well. So I'm gonna measure that out. Where is it? Yeah. So basically, for me, buttercream is the vehicle between everything and dessert. For most people, it's just for cupcakes and cakes. So it'll definitely be necessary here. I'm going to try and also fill the cupcake with the buttercream, which I've never done before, and they could break. So I don't know if I'm going to even choose to fill it if I can't do it on the first try. So, yeah. But we have our thing to measure it. We're going to find the 3/4 of a teaspoon on here. And here we go. And we're just going to put it in a little bowl. But essentially, you're going to add this when the egg whites are whipping and while that's heating up. So a little background on Italian meringue buttercream. It's the hardest one probably to make because there's 2 reasons really. When you heat sugar, you heat the sugar up to like 248 degrees, I think. Let me check. Pretty sure it's 248. Yeah, you heat the sugar up a lot, and then you add the cream of tartar. No, you add the cream of tartar to the egg whites while they're whipping, while you're heating up sugar until it gets to 248 degrees, and it's cooking with the water. And then you take that out, and then you pour it in to the bowl while the egg whites are still agitated, because they have to be agitated, so they're going to still be, this thing will still be whipping. And if you hit the side of the bowl, the sugar will solidify, because that's one of the states that sugar gets in when it's really hot, and with water. So you have to like pour it in between the thing that's mixing. I think this is the whisk attachment, yeah. And the bowl, because if you hit the bowl, it'll solidify. If you hit the whisk thing, it'll spray everywhere. So you got to go in between there, and you got to keep beating it for a while, and then you add your butter. But make sure, well, I'll tell you later, but just to make sure, if you add the butter, if you add the water and the sugar, which actually cooks egg whites, so for people that are scared about like raw products, it is cooked because of the water and the sugar heats the egg whites up to a form where they're cooked. And so basically you're going to add your butter once the whole mixture that's in here already is cool, because if you add it when it's warm, it'll be really soupy, and you can't really fix it unless you try to refrigerate it or something for a while. So we're putting our cream of tartar in here. You need a candy thermometer, which I'm about to show you. You need a candy thermometer to figure out how high the temperature is in the saucepan with the water and the sugar. So then you know when to take it off, and you know how when to start beating your egg whites, because you want your egg whites to form soft peaks. And if they're not formed and you add that, then it won't work either. So pretty much temperature in really all baking and cooking is crucial, but essentially for buttercream is the most crucial, because if you don't wait long enough or something's not right, you can have to do it again. So we're putting this in here. I think that this is cool enough. I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to heat this probably on medium heat, and I'm going to find our candy thermometer, which should tell me when to take it off the heat and add it to the meringue, and add it to the egg whites. So that's on medium heat. It's heating up right now. Our cupcakes, oh my gosh, they worked. I'm so surprised. They probably still need to go for a little while longer because the recipe said that the toothpick should be pushed out completely, and a lot of them are still inside. So I'm going to put the timer on for 2 minutes and then see what happens next. But yeah, I just got to check on how long to cook this for, just to make sure I'm not over baking them, because I don't want that to happen. Yeah, it says the toothpick should come out perfect, like out of the thing. So our sugar syrup is heating up. We're going to start to beat our egg whites, even though they're still kind of cold. Maybe I could heat this up. I'm going to think. Got to think about this. I think that it should be fine, so I'm going to just do it anyway, but usually just wait until they're room temperature because it's just better to do it that way. So I'm going to beat this till it forms soft peaks, and when you see it happen, you'll just know. So I'm going to put it on like 4 and watch that happen. Then basically I'm going to add cream of tartar once it starts to form those peaks. I'm going to add the cream of tartar to help keep the thing alive. And our sugar syrup is at the peaks will start to look like bubbles, and then eventually it'll be just, it's kind of, baking is really pretty, so when you see things and you see how they're transformed through heat or through being chilled, it's so cool. I think it's really fascinating how just by beating something, it can just transform into something else. Yeah, so while those are beating, I'm going to add our cream of tartar. And it's going to help when I add the sugar syrup and the butter to make it form right. So there's that. And right now is about the time when you want to get your butter out because it has to be really soft and it has to be cut into like tablespoons. So I'm going to go find the butter because I don't think we have enough in here. That'll be that. So you need 2 1/4. So I'm going to cut this and put the other third in the fridge for an Italian Meringue Buttercream. Our egg whites are still looking really pretty. You can see that. They're forming like little bubbles and it just looks really nice. Our sugar syrup is currently at about 160 degrees. So it has to reach between 248 and 250 to be able to add it to here. Yeah. So right now I'm going to cut these into pieces and soften it by just leaving it out for a little while until we need it. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so all the butter's cut, and just a word of advice, when butter's cut into smaller pieces, it should go to room temperature faster because it's just kind of separated from all of it, so it's not all together, so it'll melt at the same pace, but faster than if it was still in its block form. So our sugar syrup is almost ready, and I'm going to use a mitten just to be safe because even though things have handles, the handle can heat up because it's all metallic. So our egg whites are still beating; they look really nice, and our sugar syrup's about to happen. So get ready; this is going to be kind of cool. So the sugar should look like one second. The sugar should look like this. And we gotta put it in quick or it'll stop being hot, so here we go. So because I still did it pretty much perfect. Oh my god. Wait, might have not done it right. No, I think it's okay though. Even though you can't lower this while it's going because then the egg whites won't be being agitated, and if they're not agitated then it won't work right. But it's still really hard to get the last bit of the sugar syrup out. So a lot of it got on the side. I don't know if it just beat up that way. It looks like I was doing it right. So we'll just see if it works, because you can either refrigerate it or I would probably have to start over or break the bowl or something. So we're going to beat this until the meringue's cold by touching the side of the bowl like this. And when it feels cold to you or it's just not hot anymore, then you add your butter. So yeah.
These eagles trying to break our souls, getting high off yours. These eagles trying to break our souls, getting high off yours. So it's a long way home. All my brothers and sisters, it's a long way home. So let me know if you're with us. So it's a long way home, but we're all in this together, yeah. But we're all in this together, yeah. But we're all in this together, yeah. One way, one life. You could set it off right, you can find your true north. That's right, that light right there up in the sky. In between, halfway to love and peace. And I won't watch them fall to injury, cause I'ma help them keep their feet. And it's our job to seek them out amongst the crowd. Wanna tell them all, but you don't know how? Do what we did, grab the mic and sing real loud. It's a long way home. All my brothers and sisters, it's a long way home. So let me know if you're with us. So it's a long way home. But we're all in this together, yeah, yeah. you can set it off right, you can find your new course. That's right, that blindfold tied and fast and tight. It just got sliced, only heard the stories of life, but now you know the glory of light. And it's our job to find what freedom does. Cause peace and love are treatment, cause achievement does play a hand in relieving us. Decrease the rust, degrade the lust, but just don't breathe the dust, don't breathe the dust, don't breathe the dust.
These egos trying to break our souls, getting high off yours. But we're all in this together, yeah. But we're all in this together,
faith in you to be able to figure it out. So you take a mesh strainer, which I don't think if you did see it, you know what it looks like. You hold it up, and if you don't know what it looks like, you can look it up or ask somebody that does know. And you hit it, you put a little bit of your cacao in, and then you just tap the side of it, and then it should get on there and look fairly pretty. So I'm about to show you the final product from an aerial view, as soon as I clean my hands enough to touch my computer. This process took about an hour and a half. When you make it at home, it should take probably like 45 minutes or less, depending on how new you are to it and how advanced you are. Remember, it's the first time I've made these before, so I'm about to show you what they look like right now, which they kind of look pretty good to me. So here they are. That's them, and that's them. Some of them are filled, most of them are dusted completely, some of them are half dusted. These I don't want it to all be different, but just keep in mind that
these egos trying to break our souls, getting high off yours. These egos trying to break our souls, getting high off yours. So it's a long way home. All my brothers and sisters, it's a long way home. So let me know if you're with us. So it's a long way home. But we're all in this together, yeah.
bread and olive oil are like
But we're all in this together, yeah. But we're all in this together, yeah.
One way, one life, you could set it off right, you can find your true north. That's right, that light right there up in the sky. In between, halfway to love and peace. And I won't watch them fall to injury, cause I'ma help them keep their feet. And it's our job to seek them out amongst the crowd. Wanna tell them all, but you don't know how? Do what we did, grab the mic and sing real loud.
It's a long way home. All my brothers and sisters, it's a long way home. So let me know if you're with us. So it's a long way home. But we're all in this together, yeah, yeah. But we're all in this together, yeah, yeah.
Just like one day, one night, you could set set it off right, you can find your new course. That's right, that blindfold tied and fast and tight. It just got sliced, only heard the stories of life, but now you know the glory of light. And it's our job to find what freedom does. Cause peace and love are treatment, cause achievement does lay your hand to relieve in us. Decrease the rust, degree the lust, but just don't breathe the dust, don't breathe the dust, don't breathe the dust.
These egos trying to break our souls, getting high off yours. But we're all in this together, yeah. But we're all in this together,
basically the same, but you kind of go like that. So now you're standing, I'll show you it a little bit better. So you're like this, and then you go like this. Now you're standing. So thank you so much for watching this hour-long, actually very over an hour video. Hang on a sec. Thank you so much for keeping up with this, watching the whole thing. I'm really surprised that you did. If you didn't, you should, because it is a really long video, but it's kind of hard to show you how to do all the things that I'm doing in the kitchen without like editing it, so I might be doing that. But thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel, comment on literally anything, and like this video, and thank you for watching.